Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast.
This pig came bottling.
Just ended up puking last night. It sucked.
Whoa! Ah!
We gut it, we wrap it in tinfoil, throw it over the fire.
All right, everyone. It's Cody Johnson here with the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast. We are back. I know we took a little hiatus for the month of March. We had trade show season, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So we're getting back into this podcast. When you guys listen to this, it should be Tuesday, March 25th when you listen to this podcast. So I got Ray on the podcast. Ray's been on the podcast before. It's been a little while now. But Ray is one of our Wisconsin team members. You guys, if you came to the Iowa Deer Classic, you would have saw Ray there. I was putting him to work selling merch. And but Ray's going to break down his Wisconsin waterfowl season and more, and kind of talk about his insight at the trade shows as well. So Ray, just in case people don't know you, if you want to give yourself a quick introduction, and let's just hop right into then the waterfowl season.
Yeah, I'm Ray Vogel. I'm one of the waterfowl guys, mainly here with the Thin Blue Line Outdoors. I was a fireman down in Central Illinois for a very long time. That's actually how me and Cody connected, making fun of each other in college. And we were fraternity brothers in college, so we always kind of like had the fun jabs at each other for the fire police. But yeah, mainly like me, I just been waterfowl hunting and fishing all my life for the Central Illinois part of it. If you've paid attention to the podcast or anything like that, you've seen that I've been able to harvest a bear with Cody and all those guys up north, and travel all the way from the furthest part south that you can do to fish and hunt, and all the way to the northern part that you can possibly do. But as Cody was saying, I'm going to give a rundown of my Wisconsin waterfowl season, which sadly I didn't get a lot of chances to hunt this year. Just kind of work and life in general kind of hit me. But, I did get out a few times. I got out with some friends of mine and got to get some of my friends their first geese. That was kind of a cool thing to do, especially since they're all deer hunters and they didn't understand the fact that they didn't have to just be quiet the whole time. That was the best part about it, making fun of them the whole time. They're sitting there just walking through, and I'm just stomping through the field, throwing decoys out and everything, and they're looking at me going, what are we doing here? I said, no. I said, this is simple. I was like, you guys don't have to be quiet for these. This we're gonna clang this around. We're gonna have a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
And then got them out for early season, which our early season is phenomenal. I mean, that first week of September for us these are all dumb local geese that you
really
get to do. And I thought our local geese were dumb down in Illinois. No, these things it's just nothing. It's unreal. Like I can't even explain of how easy it is to kind of harvest them when you do find them. That's the tricky part though. I got very lucky and got permission on some land that my friends have got a lot of farmland, and she told me, she goes, yeah, I've never killed a goose. I said, perfect. We'll get you out there and we'll get you a goose. And her boyfriend was nice enough to give us the permission. And he goes, yeah, this field's all picked over. He goes, feel free, this is all you. So we went out there, hunted that, and got her a goose, and it was a good time. We got lucky there. And then early season was kind of a wrap right after that, because I went right back to work and ran into overtime. So I got kind of cut short on my early season. And then regular waterfowl season for me, I got a few duck hunts out. Came back down to Illinois to help Dad out a little bit at their blind, but never got a chance to come back and hunt in Illinois. Hunted a few times up here, had some success. Weird thing again, I was shooting teal in November.
That's weird.
It's weird. I'm not gonna lie. Again, we didn't get a winter until probably December, and it's kind of one that, normally the later October, November, you're starting to get cold. Well, I'm still in, breathable t-shirts and hunting in the blind and fighting mosquitoes and everything else. So it's kind of weird for us.
So we're going to talk to you about that. Obviously, I only went duck hunting once this past season, and I was told by everybody who was diehard duck hunters it was a very slow season. I'm assuming it was the same to you guys up there or different?
It's kind of a mix. We get a lot of local birds because we're near the Great Lakes, so it kind of saves us a little bit to where we get a lot of locals. They kind of stay here all year round. But it was a slow migration. We never got into the big pushes of mallards, so to speak, until later in our season, and even until our season ended. And then we started getting bigger pushes of birds and pushing down. And that last week of my season was when I finally got into the ice. And that's when we all froze out up here. And it just kind of, it sucked because, we're still shooting little ducks. We never got into our big duck season again. Last year I got into them a little bit. I got into some nice diver hunts. I got into a few nice mallard hunts, and it was a good time. This year I wasn't very fortunate enough to get into the right places at the right time. And I will even say that my scouting this year wasn't the greatest. I kind of mediocre, found a few birds. I'm like, perfect. That's where I'll go, and found some places that we could do. And we had some good hunts. I killed some geese like I said, I killed a lot of geese this year, but I didn't get into the ducks as much as I wanted to this year. But had a good season. I mean, it was definitely a good season for me, but it wasn't, one of those stellar seasons of, I set records or anything like that. I just had a good season. I killed birds when I was out, and got some first out of that from guys that I've hunted or never hunted them before, and got them out and got them their first birds, or might have changed one deer hunter over to a duck hunter, but we'll see.
No,
he talks it, but
whoever that person is, you tell him, knock that off. You got to stick with the deer hunting.
No, come on now. They like to cook. They like to be around it. They don't like to be quiet.
Well, then duck hunting's the way to go then, if that's what they're into. I mean, I love deer hunting. That's my passion. That's my go-to. But it's nice, like when I'm doing the rut grind, it's sometimes nice to, hey, I'm going to go duck hunting today. We're going to BS in the blind, cook breakfast, drink a bunch of coffee or hot chocolate, and just maybe kill some birds, maybe not. That's not what it's about, though.
No, that's definitely that's a funny story I got to tell you when we get to my deer hunt this year.
Yeah.
But definitely, and that's the thing, like, you're passionate about it. You and me have talked about it many times, where you and me have talked about, I invited you to go on a snow goose hunt, which, by the way, your wife would have killed you because that was right as you got back from Texas.
Yep.
You're welcome, Alicia.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that, and this year I didn't get a chance to go on one of those long hunts. Just like I said, life in general just kind of hit it, and it's like, well, we got a little tight here trying to get things done. And by the time I would have got things booked, it would have been just kind of a waste on trying to do it. But no, I had a good waterfowl year. I mean, even for the little bit that I did get to hunt, got some birds and had a good time. So that's all I really cared about, and got my people out into the field and had some fun. And that's all I really cared about. I just wanted to have fun with everybody when I did get a chance to go out.
Yep. So, if that recaps all your waterfowl season, Ray, as much as he is the waterfowl guy, he does dabble with some deer hunting. So I'm gonna have Ray talk about that in a little bit. And I want this on the record. I want this in the public eye. Ray, I'm sorry. So I will say I am trying to get better at managing. We have 18 team members at the time of this podcast, and I suck sometimes keeping track of everybody. Ray and I, at least 2, maybe 3 times, had a conversation of him sending me the footage or the pictures of his kills. I meant to post them. I meant to. My heart was in the right place, but it never happened. I kept forgetting. So right here in the public, Ray, I apologize again. But now I'll have you talk about your story.
Hey, it's okay. I know I'm not a cop. That's why I don't get it. It's understandable.
I know.
This happens. Okay. For all of our cop people out there, I'm sorry that I did not. Sorry, I wasn't in that. But
he did kill. I want to clarify. He did make a kill.
I did kill. Now the footage thing, on the other hand, I'm not gonna lie. That's something back to my waterfowl season, dude. That's something that I underestimated a lot. And anybody who wants to film waterfowl, I mean, if you can do it, the best advice I can say is just bear with it, because it is tough.
Yep, and I think we may have talked about on the podcast before. Self-filming deer hunts way easier. Not that it's easy itself, but it's way easier than self-filming duck hunts. Filming duck hunts, period, is just a chore. I know when Ray and Cooper both said they were going to start doing it, I was like, good luck, because I've only dabbled in it, and it's tough. It's
one that I did not listen to you. And Cody, you were right.
We can end the podcast right here. I heard what I needed to hear. Yeah.
No, I did not put two and two together of how much difficult it was going to be, especially with the equipment I have. I have, a GoPro. I've had a couple of the DJIs that, you try to put on the boats to try to get the right placement. Well, when the birds don't finish in that exact location, or they try to, swing you or anything like that, while you're taking that actual last pass shot, you don't catch it. And then even on, GoPros, which not bashing on GoPros, but just duck hunting in general on them is kind of hard.
Yep.
Because
and once you start getting cold and wet too, the battery dies. Yep.
It's hard, especially if you only have a few batteries. Try to keep them charged up as best you can, but even in the bag, me in Wisconsin, it's negative degrees out there when we're going, and those batteries don't last very long.
Yep.
So I'm fighting that battle constantly. And then trying to take those far shots like us on the bay, it's very hard for me to try to get that passing shot or anything like that, because they are out there on the edge and you're taking that farther shot. Not sky busting. So all the haters out there, I'm not sky busting, not trying to play that game. I know my limits, but ask Cody, who I missed a pintail at 10 yards, for God's sakes.
Yep.
Still haunts me to this day.
Agreed.
But no, that's something that if anybody who does it, I have so much respect for. I try to learn from them on YouTube or anything like that, or trying to watch guys, trying to learn what they do, trying to get the right equipment, trying to get things to do. That's the toughest part. And sometimes you just don't have enough hands to try to get it. And it's tough. And it's hard to fight that battle, but it's kind of the name of the game. And like you guys with deer hunting, it's kind of nice because you guys have all the trees, you guys have all the arms and everything that you guys can use. But I try to find things for waterfowl and things like that, but it's tough because I don't want to have 15 things welded to my boat when I already have a blind and everything else. It's difficult enough to move. So I try not to add any more problems for me, because I know my luck, I'll make it fall right off if I did.
Yep.
But yeah, that and trying to sell, even deer hunt sometimes, like you said, can be difficult. You try to position yourself to be in the right place at the right time, and that's difficult in itself. But then you end up so many times your cameras aren't in the right place. And
I'll flat out say the camera has cost me a couple deer. This year, didn't. Take that back. It cost me a doe early in the season because I kept on. If I wasn't messing with the camera, I could have shot. I'd get the deer in frame, get ready to pull back, and she would move out of frame. So it did cost me one deer this year. The year before, it cost me a good buck.
Was that the camera stuff?
It was me trying to make sure the deer was in camera. Which hindsight on that one, I had one of my DJIs, so you can watch. I go back to the 23 deer season. You'll see me turn on the GoPro over my right shoulder, and the deer comes out. He's 70 yards, not looking at me. And I'm like, ooh, I have time to get the big camera. So I reach across my body to hit. I had it on, but I just need to hit the red button. As I reach over, he looks up. So then I'm like, and there I was. And hindsight, the DJI had him in frame the whole time. It would have been a cool shot if I had just pulled back, but I didn't. And so he got saved by the camera.
That's the thing that we kind of go through, especially when we're trying to film hunts. We're gonna have issues. How many times have I told you that I've dropped cameras or anything else trying to just get shots? My GoPro's fallen off my head multiple times, or it just happens to not be tight, and then when I come out of a layout, it like gets hit backwards, and then all you're getting is the lovely sky shot of just you can hear it, but
And one thing too with me, I got to make sure I have the kill on camera, because as Ray knows, everybody in the chat, I give them so much shit if they don't get the shot on camera, and I'm not actually mad at them, but I get how hard it is, and I talk a lot of shit. So far, ever since really we've taking this next step as a team, I've gotten every kill on camera. One of these days it's not going to happen, and all the shit I'm going to get back, I deserve it 100%. But I give people a lot of shit for not getting the kill, so I know it's going to come back on me one day.
Well, here's my thing, Cody, is I sent you a video of me killing a couple geese, and then hey,
I have them still. I do have them saved. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, other than some reels. So I've thought about that, actually.
That's just the funny part about it, but especially for how much you said, well, make sure you send me your stuff. I did. No, you didn't. Check the chat. crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
It's on me.
No,
Yeah.
life gets busy, and trust me, it's.
Mhm.
I can only imagine because you got kids and a wife and everything else trying to run around, man.
Yeah. You'll get there one day.
But maybe I'll grow up. Who knows?
All right. So let's get to this deer.
All right.
A
So
deer.
I got lucky enough to where a friend of mine took me out muzzleloader hunting last year,
Mhm.
and I borrowed his muzzleloader. And me and him, I had an opportunity and a nice doe, and that was going to be my first Wisconsin doe, 30-yard chip shot, especially with a muzzleloader. And then I shot, and she took off like never touched her. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Normally they just drop where they stand, but so I'm watching her. She's not moving. So I give it like 45 minutes, get down out of the stand, and I missed. Just wholeheartedly missed. Well, me and him weren't really paying attention when I loaded it again because we still had a little bit of daylight left, so we took it back to the car. Well, there's this huge oak tree that I aimed at. Never hit it. And me and him both looked, and the scope ring came loose. So I have no idea where I aimed anything, or I have no idea where it hit and where it was even going.
Yeah.
But fast forward to this year, I got a chance to go out during rifle season. Well, for the days that I got to hunt, it was raining or nasty and not a lot of action.
Keep talking, or I'm going to put my computer on the charger real quick.
Oh, you're good. But this is what happens, see, he leaves. No, I got lucky enough to get invited back, but unfortunately my rifle season was not the greatest. My rifle season consisted of some really bad weather. Tried to get out in the better weather, but just never really ended that way. And then the next week was muzzleloader season. Got lucky enough that I bought my own muzzleloader, had my own stuff where me and him could hunt together and be able to try to hunt 2 different stands and everything. But I got the very last day, within the last little bit of light, I got very lucky, and I shot a small doe that I got very fortunate enough to harvest, but not the biggest deer in the world. I will say that, like, could have thrown it over my shoulder, but at this point I was just trying to get meat in the freezer because I haven't killed a deer in a few years, and I was sitting here and I'm like, I get way bigger than a goose, so I got to be able to put some meat in the freezer here. So I got very fortunate enough to harvest my first Wisconsin deer. Loved every second of it. I mean, being out in the Wisconsin woods is a lot of fun. I got to see some cool wildlife and things like that. But this is that funny story I'm going to tell you about, that this is when you know that you're a duck hunter and you're deer hunting, is when you're looking in the sky. I'm coming to the stand. I'm looking up, I'm looking around, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking both ways, looking over my shoulder, over the back, and then the realization hit me that, hey, deer can't fly. But I had that situation happen, and I even told those guys that. I said, this is what happens when you take a waterfowl hunter into the woods. But yeah, so the deer season was honestly great. I saw a lot of deer. I wasn't really trophy chasing or anything like that. I was just trying to harvest something mature. Saw a lot of deer, just never could get a shot until, like I said, that last day. Got some good footage of some little yearlings running around, and then I think that, like I said, that last night was my last one that I could take, so I just took kind of my last ditch shot, and like I said, harvested my first Wisconsin deer, and it wasn't the biggest deer in the world, but like I said, it was my first one, so I enjoyed it.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Again, you got to fill that freezer, and we were talking about, trying to fill the freezer, and depending on what kind of money you got coming in budget-wise. I know, like, the first couple of years when I was out of college, it's a good thing I shot a lot of deer. At least now we're buying beef. So, it fills the freezer, and it's good eating, and I prefer it over beef usually. It can't beat a good ribeye steak or something like that. No, but like ground,
those back straps off that deer, though.
Oh, yeah.
We're solid.
What's your go-to? What was your go-to? What was the recipe you used?
I just season them well. Like, I just season them well with the Mr. Rubbs. Get them on there, because like I said, I never tried Mr. Rubbs until we actually started having them on our team. Then I started using them, and then I just grill it. I try to grill it really easy. Try to get it nice internal temp, kind of fluctuates with from deer to deer that I've kind of seen. But I just usually just try to season them the best I can, grill them up. That way my girlfriend can't see the difference between that and the beef, because she's very picky on the wildlife that she'll eat.
Yeah,
I still haven't gotten to eat duck and geese yet, but hey, we're trying.
Man, I love duck and geese. I feel like fresh off the grill. They're really good. I don't like eating them leftovers because they get like tough. It seems like, but like fresh off the grill, good stuff.
I did try some Gordon Ramsay stuff. I had a couple wood duck breasts that I kept the skin on and everything like that, and I actually skillet seared them and seasoned them up with a little bit of like melted butter in the pan. Had them all looking nice, and I feel like Gordon Ramsay would be real proud. But hey, and then Kayla saw them, and she goes, "That actually turned out rather well." So I was like, "Hey, this works."
I haven't eaten enough duck in my lifetime to tell, but the people that eat a lot of duck tell me wood duck's the best.
Oh, wood duck! I like wood duck. Honestly, my other big duck that I like to shoot, I like gadwalls. I love the taste of patties. Some guys bash on them, but I mean, you put those in a mallard together. This is my opinion. So, like I said, this is just my opinion, not everybody in the world, but I don't taste the difference between those two. And I shot a lot more gadwalls in my life than I ever did mallards. So I'll take those anytime. And they're not much smaller, and they cook up the same, and they taste, relatively the same. Yeah. The only ones that I don't like truly, like duck wise, are mergansers.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew.
I've tried to fry them. I've tried other ways. I've tried to bake them. I've tried a lot of different things to do, but I have yet to find a recipe to make them taste good.
I got one for you. Problem is, it doesn't taste like duck. That's why you can eat it. Alicia made homemade duck egg rolls. So I had it was a mixed bag. I had some mergansers, but I also had some mallards, some ringnecks, and a couple other species. It was all thrown in there. It was, there's so much stuff in an egg roll. Like, it's meat. You know what I mean? Like, you can't
roll at that point.
Yeah.
The couple shows that I've been up to here, some guys have had them, and I tried them. They're really, really good. A lot of guys like a lot of Cajun seasoning up here just because they like the spice, which a lot of people do. But they had like the perfect amount where that duck flavor wasn't even potent. It didn't, you knew it was duck, but the flavor of it was so different that you never got like that harsh, like gamey taste from them. So it was kind of nice that it kind of like took away that flavor. The other thing I actually did this year is me and some friends actually tried coot for the first time.
Okay.
So we did jalapeno poppers with them.
That's probably safe. That's probably a safe bet. Yeah.
Safe bet. At least the bacon and maybe something else will take care of it. But we tried it, and I'm not gonna lie, I might shoot a few more coots now. Just
there we go.
A few more in the around. I didn't have a harsh flavor on them. I did season them, so that, and I let them rinse for a couple days just to try to get the gamey taste out of it. And my friends told me about it, and then I was sitting there and I said, I'm not eating a coot. You can't pay me enough. Not happening. Yeah. Well, then they're like, all right. So we shot a couple of them, and then we got a couple fried up, and sure enough, never had any of that flavor. And I'm not gonna lie, proud coot shooter here.
I'll remember that next time a coot swims in front of me.
I'm telling you, man. That actually, you got to let it rinse, but at the same time, it wasn't bad. It's not the worst thing I ever. It's not something I'm going to pick that over, steak dinner. But it wasn't.
We got team member Josh Atkins trying to call me right now. I'm gonna have to tell him to stand by. But no, I'll keep that in mind next time a coot comes swimming my way. Well, I think that brings us to the Iowa Deer Classic. So we were at, I don't remember our booth number, but we were at the Iowa Deer Classic 3 weekends ago. It was my second time at the Deer Classic as a vendor. We did just as good as we did last year. It was It's the biggest show we do. I definitely, if you're in the Midwest, I think it's the biggest show around in the Midwest, at least wise. I personally had a good time. We had all our goals as a brand, but Ray came to first trade show helping us. Did a great job, by the way, and we really enjoyed having him in the booth. Well, I just want you to talk about your experience, go from there.
Honestly, I mean, that show for me, you've heard it here first that I'm a duck and goose guy. I'm not a deer hunter. And that show there was spectacular for anybody. They had anything from duck and goose calls to turkey calls to, just your basic little like house knickknacks and things like that you need. But that show right there, it is amazing to go to. As an outdoorsman, if you get the chance, you got to take the chance to go to the Iowa Deer Classic, especially if you're a deer hunter, because you can get some really good buys at some really good vendors, and they will take care of you at that show. My experience with the show, like working for the brand side, I mean, I had fun in our booth, meeting our guys, getting to meet the guys from Mr. Rubb, getting to meet the guys from Ridgeline.
Yep, right next to us.
Yep. And then a lot of guys that we got to talk to, the firefighters, all those guys were pretty cool.
I got a story for you. Sorry to interrupt you. So, okay, and I don't know if you're going to listen to this podcast. And if you listen to this podcast, listen, you're an asshole. You're a good asshole, but you're an asshole. Whoever, I don't know your name. But long story short, we had this older retired firefighter come and talk to us. Pretty much told us cops to F off. Was buddy with Ray. He's not from Iowa, right? He's from Illinois and came back by in the Peoria show and was asking where you were at and flat out said, I don't want to talk to you cops. I was hoping the firefighters didn't be here again.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he came back. He came back on a Saturday and Sunday. I see him. I'm like, hey, it's you. And he's like, yeah, where's your firefighter? I'm like, oh, he went back to Wisconsin. He goes, oh, then I don't need to talk to you guys. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Oh, man.
So whoever you are, F off, whoever it is.
I'm not, he's super nice to me, but for you guys, man, he was not a fan.
No.
I don't know what y'all cops did to that guy, but
I don't know.
That's awesome. I didn't think that he would show back up to that show.
Yeah, I guess he's from Illinois. That's what he told me.
God. Oh, that's okay. That's awesome. That leads into also, if you were the guy that walked by when Nate was trying to sell a hat. So me and Nate are sitting at the stand, and Nate is talking to somebody about buying a hat. Said, hey, this would look really good on you. This guy that not even talking to looks dead at Nate and goes, fuck off, and goes right by. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, what happened? Nate didn't hear him. He heard him mumble something, but he didn't hear him say it. And me and Nate both are, what just happened here? And that, like, if you go to those shows and you like have to have that type of mentality, like, all right, just be gone.
And I do want to clarify, Ray and I are talking about the outliers of the show. 99.9% of the people we met were great. And we really enjoyed talking. Then we had some firefighters come, and that back and forth joking happened. We had some cops come, give back and forth with Ray. So it was just those two outliers that were kind of like, what the hell did we do to you?
Yeah, we just apparently it's just the way that we looked that day that we. But that is funny. I mean, that show was a blast. I mean, if you get the chance to go, highly suggest it. It was a good time. Then especially hanging out with the guys from Timber Rim right next to us the whole time, getting to talk to them, buying seed off of them, and getting to actually help them out, just like them helping us out as much as they could. Was a lot of fun. And then especially it was nice to actually put faces to the names for me, because I don't get a chance to come meet these guys very often at shows. And
yeah, you got to meet the dominant Strand guys.
Yep. I don't get a chance to meet these guys very often, and finally getting to meet them and hang out with them for a little bit. It was a good time. And thanks for all the hospitality to Mr. Rubb there. Thanks, sir.
Next year, I think we're going to stay at his house, so we're going to have good times, I think.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then got to meet, the guys from Dominant Strands, got to finally meet them, see all their work that they get to do. And then getting to meet them face to face was an awesome time. A lot of takeaways from that show, learned a lot, got to talk to a few booths and hang out with them and learn some things. Met a couple booths that, were very, I get it. It's one that, you're high class, but you're at a show just trying to sell things and take a step back, guys. Like, we all came from somewhere. That's the biggest thing that I can tell those guys, because it's just, some of it just doesn't happen.
I did laugh. So, when I like it when we have more than 2 people to work the booth, because obviously you need a break every now and then. So you do a hot lap, go talk to people, go see what you might want to buy, anything like that. I think the very first time you did a hot lap, you came back with a duck call. I'm pretty sure. If it wasn't the first time,
no. That was Sunday.
Okay.
I did.
Gotcha.
No, that the ones I had were my own personal calls already.
Okay.
Those are the ones I had already. That I was getting them retuned, so I knew
That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. So no, I did not buy them. Don't get me thrown under the bus just yet.
Yeah.
The ones I did buy were just fun little like novelty ones, and they didn't sound too bad, honestly.
No, they didn't sound bad at all. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that show, I mean, from a guy that doesn't deer hunt, and to go and see and learn and see the bow shoot, to seeing all like the Hall of Fame, to watching everybody's deer get scored, and seeing the Iowa monsters that they have there at that show is unreal. I got to meet a lot of great people at the booth. Talked a lot about just random things. Then you also get to see the different sides. You get to see the duck and goose hunters. You get to see the turkey hunters. You get to see the safari people that give you the weird ibuprofen.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Nate about died.
Nate about died. So, backstory for you: Nate was having really bad, like, I don't know if it was his back or he was having headaches or something.
Yeah, he's got a weak back. He can't carry this team. Yeah, so I hope he should listen to this. He can't take the weight. Can't do it.
It's all right, buddy. Dobby's got you, man. But so Nate was trying to talk to somebody about a sale, and he's like, "Hey, can you find me some ibuprofen?" Sure, no problem. So across the way is a booth for African hunts.
Very nice people.
Very nice people. Very nice people.
Yep.
But so I asked this lady if she had any ibuprofen, and she said, yeah. But she handed me 2 of these like different sized pink pills. And I went, and she goes, only take 1. That's what they're prescribed for. These are true African pills. I come walking back over to Nate, and I said, take these at your own risk if you want to see a purple elephant later, probably. He goes, yeah. So then we walked 2 booths down. And that's when that lady pulled out the rum chata shot. She goes, this is how I get through the show. And I went, all right, cool. That whole stretch of like 10 minutes right there was probably the funniest thing.
There's definitely characters there, man.
Oh man. A lot of great people. If you are any of those people that are listening to this, we loved talking to you. It was a great time.
Yep.
It was awesome. But yeah, and working that show and meeting the people that we got to, especially some of the young kids that we got to talk to. Granted, we sold some merch to them that they, didn't need, but they always say that you can never have too many. It was definitely a great time. I had a blast, and definitely if I get a chance to go again, I gladly will try to be there again.
Definitely got an open invite. Before you move on from the show and you end this with your turkey hunt, I do have to tell you something. Mr. Cooper Elam was able to accomplish something that you couldn't accomplish.
No. Partial credit.
It's true, but he did win the bet. Like, I did not specify enough.
You will hear me right here. Yeah. He got that. He did. He conquered the feat. Partial credit.
Yeah. So at these type of shows, I don't know why, and they're not going to hear this because Yeah, I mean, if you do listen to this, then you're violating some kind of religion, whatever you have vows you took. There's a lot of Mennonite and Amish people there. Nate has been trying for 2 years to sell to Mennonite and Amish people, never achieved that goal. This year, he finally like, yeah, I give up. And I've told him from the get go because I used to work at our local Farm King, and they would come in all the time. You can't sell them nothing. So anyway, Ray tried solid for 2 days. Really tried. Couldn't do it. And so anyway, Cooper was working one day at the show, and I told him about Ray and Nate, and I told him like, all the rules I set was you must get them to spend their own cash on an item, and I said own cash because I didn't want Cooper to hand him money and then buy something. And the bet was, Cooper doesn't have the best deer hunting spot. Is I get to take him to one of my spots during peak rut, trying to get him deer. That was the bet. And next thing you know, I see the guy forking over money. Well, Cooper paid for half of it. That's what it was. So Cooper got to hunt a prime deer spot for $10. So he definitely won.
I even said that to him when he texted me that. I said, you know what? I told him honestly. I said, 20. If you get another one, I said, tell Cody that you want the rights for like that whole rut week.
Yeah.
I said, try it. You might as well try. I mean, you might as well got it for $10, and guess what? You might as well just try. For the whole season at this point. $20 done. That's $20 every.
I wasn't even mad. I was like, respect, man, respect. Like.
When he told me, I wasn't even mad. He told me what he did, and I said, I give you partial credit, but I give him full credit that he actually got somebody to buy one.
Yep.
So, buddy, good for you.
And this young Mennonite or Amish lad, he doesn't wear them. He collects them. He made sure we knew that. Right, I got you. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we also forgot. Did you remember that armadillos are reptiles?
Yeah. I'm not really impressed with the Bloomington Central Catholic High School education. So we'll have Nate's going to come on the podcast and talk about his trade show experience. We'll have him kind of talk more about that story. But however, I will say while we're on that subject, shout out to Buzzard Billy in Des Moines, Iowa. That place is awesome. That restaurant. We've been there now. I've ate there multiple times now. It's great food. Great Cajun food in the middle of Iowa.
I think we ate there 3 times that whole weekend, didn't we? We had breakfast there, and I think we had 2 dinners.
I went and got food. 4 or 5 times, something like that.
Hey, it's good food. You can't go wrong. And it's a big enough menu that you're not going to eat the same thing twice, or you might get the wrong thing, and it might come out and it might be a win.
Yeah, the very first night, I forget what I ordered the shrimp, and they screwed up and brought me chicken and biscuits and gravy, and it was I think some taters on it too. And I'm like, this is not what I ordered. And the guy goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'll eat it. It was the next night I did order the shrimp. That was better. That was way better. So, and the shrimp was good too. But anyway, don't want this podcast to go too long. Like I said to everybody, I'm gonna have Ray in this here in a little bit. Hope you guys are enjoying the vlogs that we're putting out. We're gonna have if you guys last Sunday, as you guys are watching this, I had the show come out for the hog hunt. It's doing pretty well. Hope you guys enjoyed that hog hunt. We had a good time shooting it, and I had a good time editing it. You're gonna see more podcasts from us. You are going to see that we got a little series from the Illinois Expo. You're gonna see videos from that, and then we'll have a highlight reel of some of our past turkey hunts and past bear hunts coming up, and then we'll be hopefully then go into the summertime and go from there. And also a little bonus video for the end of the month of March. Month of March marked 5 years as a brand for the Timberline Outdoors. So to end the month of March, there'll be a video coming out just kind of recapping our 5 years. But in honor of turkey season coming up, Ray killed a great bird last year. I'm going to let Ray end the podcast with that story.
I was so fortunate to have one of the best turkey hunts like that. Anytime I explain it to guys who that turkey hunt, it was an absolute blast. So I don't turkey hunt. I have very vaguely done anything with it. Never knew what I was actually doing. And then my buddy up here, Levi, got me a chance, and he goes, "Hey, do you want to come out with me? We'll get taken care of." Sweet. Well, I was very fortunate enough on that morning to get to witness the lovely, just the thunder chickens just start erupting. And we had 3 different gobblers going in 3 different locations, and no more than probably 10 minutes sitting in the field, birds started coming out. Well, they started coming out in waves, and it was, you saw 2 or 3 gobblers, and then you saw 5 gobblers, and then 4 or 5 hens, then 4 more gobblers. It was nuts to just see how many birds there were. They were very particular on what they wanted, but Levi, very good caller, and very well helped me out to harvest my first turkey that I can't even explain how happy I was to be able to pull the trigger on this thing, and be able to harvest it and have my first turkey hunt and make me addicted to it now. Because I'm not gonna lie, don't get me wrong, would I love to have my hands on a trophy buck or anything like that? But man, being in the woods chasing turkeys now, after doing it last year, I want to do it again. That's what I look forward to. I look forward to the spring. I look forward to listening to the thunder chickens start getting it, and then just chasing the longbeards. I'm super excited this year that I get. I'm gonna run some new stuff. I got some new diaphragm calls I'm gonna try. I got a call. Hang on a second. I can't remember this guy's name. Good old Shorty. I bought one of his calls up here at the Wisconsin show, and he's a local, and he was talking to me a lot. Shorty's custom calls out of Wisconsin Rapids. Super great guy. Calls sound amazing, and I'm looking forward to using them. And then getting a chance to, just be back out in the turkey woods. I'm pumped for it. I'm ready for it.
When's your guys' season open? I think it's before the Illinois one.
Mine, so I took the second season. So mine is the 23rd of April to the 29th of April, give or take. I think it's the 29th.
Okay.
So that's when mine is. Looking really good. I will be in a different zone than what I was last year, but the land, I'm taking a buddy of mine out to hopefully. Been deer hunting a long time his whole life, and hopefully he goes, "I've never killed a turkey." I said, "Perfect. We're gonna try to get you one this year." So I got him. He's gonna take me where I deer hunted at. Saw some turkeys out there and had a good time, and I'm just excited. It's something that I'm pumped for to get going, and at the end of April can't come soon enough.
That's awesome.
For it.
I'm looking forward to see if you get some success. You're gonna be filming that, hopefully.
You know what? I don't know if I film it. If I send it to you, is it going to get posted? Or is
I'll make it. If you film a hunt from start to finish, I'll make it your own separate video and just pump you all up.
Oh, well, look at that.
Give you the highlight reel and everything.
Honestly, I want to try it. Last year, the only reason I didn't try is because I was very new at it, trying to, just learn a lot to take in. Because like I said, I never knew what I was truly doing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as a teenager, I bought the diaphragm calls to think that I'm a turkey hunter. No, and
Yep.
I never even had success or even tried hard enough to even say that I turkey hunted.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I was sick the last seasons that you could buy over the counter or anything like that, and I was eaten by mosquitoes, and it's I'm not doing this. But no, this year I'm going to try to film a little bit, try to get a whole thing going and seeing if I can successfully get a hunt and not try to fight it like I do waterfowl. And if I can, I'm going to try to double up with them, but I'm going to prefer to, if I can film, then call. That's what I want to do. And then, but if not, if I can double up, you might see the camera drop, and my bad.
Hey, crap happens. Well, Ray, before we end this, do you have anything you would like to tell the people?
Tell the people, just for those 2 guys that were at the show, who are listening to this, for the guy that likes the firefighters, just buy a hat. That's all I'm asking.
He talked to you for like 20 minutes at least. Yeah, something like that.
And, not even buy a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man, help us out here. It's not.
Yeah.
We're all the same people. We're all the same family here.
Yep.
We all have the same goals.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I wish everybody luck. I know spring's coming up. All that lovely jazz of fishing's getting in this. We're especially getting into fishing up here, so everybody getting out, just be safe, and hopefully everybody has a good spring. And everybody who's turkey hunting, good luck. I love seeing the pictures. So hopefully everybody has some good luck with it this year. And same to you. I don't know. Are you turkey hunting this year?
I have a tag, and I will probably go out. However, I already know I'm going to take Kyle out and try to. I got him his first bird last year. I'm going to try to take him out probably one more time, try to see if we get him his second bird, and then team member Austin Rhodes has never killed turkey. So
Really?
I try to get him. He's never killed turkey. He went last year, was either his first year or second year, and we got this close. So, and if he went with us the day, I didn't see, he didn't tell me this until I got Kyle his first turkey. If he was with us that day, they could have doubled up because we called in 3 birds. He told me that after I posted the picture of Kyle. And I'm like, damn it, I wish I knew that. We could have killed 2. But yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, that's so. My focus is on other people. I might hunt a little bit as well. I don't get super excited for turkeys.
You don't get excited for birds in general.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me though. Like me and deer hunting though, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I will deer hunt all day, and if I get the chance to, I'll gladly take the chance to go deer hunt. But it's one that, if I'm going to pick between the two, if a crappy day of like out on the water chasing ducks or out in the fields chasing the big sky pandas, everything like that, yeah, I'll take that all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I just know it's all right. You'll grow up one day and become a bird hunter.
I don't know about that. You've heard me call. I ain't calling any person. Well,
oh boy. But,
well, hopefully you will see Ray maybe on a podcast again here soon. We're working with a buddy of his, so hopefully we get him on podcast and have an announcement for everybody. But until then, Ray, good luck this turkey season. Once I hit stop record, if you want to stay on for a little bit. But other than that, guys, make sure you like, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoying all the content we have. Good luck this spring and be safe out there.